न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषाम तेव स्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. We do not even know which result of this war is preferable for us, conquering them or being conquered by them. Even after killing them, we will not desire to live. Yet they have taken the side of the sons of Dhritarashtra and now stand before us on the battlefield. When evaluating the most suitable course of action, one considers various alternatives and their consequences. Arjun was debating whether it would be desirable to defeat the Kauravas or to be defeated by them. Both alternatives seemed like defeat, for if he did win the war by slaying the Kauravas, he would have no further desire to live. However, the fact was that Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, etc. had acted ignobly by taking the side of the unrighteous Kauravas. The word Arthakam has been used for them, implying attached to wealth and position, they had taken the side of the wicked Duryodhan. So, killing them in the war was a natural consequence. In fact, after the war, Bhishma himself admitted that a teacher who acts ignobly is fit to be abandoned. Here, special mention needs to be made of Bhishma. According to the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was a great devotee of Sri Krishna. He was a master of his senses and an icon of chivalry and generosity. He was a knower of the absolute truth and had vowed to always speak the truth in his life. Even death could only come to him when he chose to accept it. For various reasons, he is enumerated amongst the 12 great personalities or Mahajans mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Hence, Bhishma was an enlightened soul whose actions could never be against the principle of dharma. However, his profound character was beyond mundane reasoning. Even though he fought on the side of the Kauravas, he said to Yudhishthir before the war, "I am obliged to combat on the side of unrighteousness, but I give you the boon that you will be victorious." Bhishma knew that the righteous Pandavas, who had the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna on their side, could never lose. By taking the side of adharma, he showed that even the biggest forces on heaven and earth could not make unholiness win in this holy war. He thus offered the biggest sacrifice of laying down his life to assist the divine pastimes of Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna was well aware of Bhishma's deep devotion toward him despite his fighting from the side of the Kauravas. That is why he upheld Bhishma's vow by breaking his own. Bhishma resolved on a particular day during the war that before sunset on the next day he would either kill Arjun, the foremost Pandava warrior, or else to save him, Sri Krishna would have to break his own vow of not lifting weapons in the battle of Mahabharata. Poets describe the vow that Bhishma made. "If I do not make the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna lift weapons, then I will shame my mother Ganga, and I am not the son of King Shantanu." Bhishma fought so valiantly that Arjun's chariot was shattered and he was stranded on the ground. At that stage, Sri Krishna lifted the chariot wheel and came forward to prevent Bhishma from killing Arjun. Bhishma saw the Lord with the chariot wheel in his hand as a weapon and broke into a big smile. He understood that the Lord had broken his own vow to honor the vow of his devotee. In fact, Bhishma's devotion to Lord Krishna had a very rustic flavor to it. He used to meditate on Sri Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. There, in the evening, when the Lord would return to the village after grazing the cows in the forest, the dust raised from the hoofs of the cows would deck his charming face, increasing its beauty and sweetness. During the battle of Mahabharata, the dust raised from the hoofs of the horses too added to Krishna's beauty, and he loved having darshan of his Lord there. In the last stage of his life, as he lay for 6 months on the bed of arrows, he meditated on that very vision of God, offering the following prayer to him. On the battlefield, Lord Krishna's flowing hair was covered with white dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, and his face was covered with sweat beads because of his physical effort in driving the chariot. These were like ornaments enhancing the beauty of my Lord, and the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows further intensified the decorations. Let my mind meditate unto that Sri Krishna. Lord Krishna reciprocated his loving devotion by himself coming to meet Bhishma on his deathbed of arrows, and with the darshan of God in front of him, Bhishma, the great Mahajan, left his body of his own volition. This verse marks a turning point in Arjun's inner conflict. He openly admits his confusion and inability to decide what is right. His thoughts have moved from resistance to surrendering the illusion of certainty. This verse also reveals Arjun's mental exhaustion and spiritual readiness. When the mind exhausts its own reasoning, when all outcomes seem equally unbearable, the heart becomes ready for divine instruction. Krishna doesn't answer yet. He waits until Arjun fully asks for guidance in the next verse. But here, Arjun takes the first step. He admits, I do not know. That's the gateway to true wisdom. In our lives too, clarity often arises not from fighting confusion, but from surrendering to deeper guidance when reason no longer suffices.